We are going to learn shading and blending with oil crayon. So what I did ahead of time is I have a piece of drawing paper. I traced off the inside of a roll of tape 3 times, and I just randomly chose 3 different colors of oil crayon, and I colored them in very solid, so pretty much no white shows. You do not want to color in a black, white, gray, or brown, so do not color these in a neutral color. So right now I just have very flat 2-dimensional shapes. And after shading and blending, we're going to go from 2D shapes to 3-dimensional forms, where it's going to look a lot more like, instead of a circle, it's going to look a lot more like a sphere. Like each one of these is a ball. With a light side, that's called a tint, and a darker side, which is called a shade. So, first of all, we're going to have what's called an implied light. We're going to pretend the light is shining down from one direction. So I'm just going to start from the top left, like the light is shining down in this direction, like right here. So what you do is you're going to take white oil crayon. You're going to put a lot of white on here, like this. You need to use a lot of white, otherwise it will not show up. And you want to have a paper towel so you can wipe up any oil crayon on here, because I had green stick to that. And then when I go ahead and put white on this one, same thing happens again. Get a lot of the oil crayon to stick to the white. So you want a paper towel to wipe off some of that. Then I go to the next one. So this is the tint, the light side, where the light is shining down on these circles to make them more of a sphere, more like a ball. So a lot of white on one side. Then on the opposite side, we're going to add just a very little bit of black. So a little bit of black here. I'm going to wipe that off on a paper towel. A little bit of black here. Wipe that off also. And then when you use an orange or a yellow, you want to use dark brown instead of black, because black is a little bit too dark for that. So now wipe that off with a paper towel. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to use 3 different techniques to go from where it looks overlapped right now, kind of like my hands are overlapped. We're going to blend these in and mix them so they look kind of like how my fingers go together like this. So we're going to go from overlapped to blended and mixed together like that. So we're going to go from this to this, to 3 different techniques. So first technique, okay, is I'm just going to use my index finger. So you want a clean, dry index finger. You don't want oil crayon or graphite on there, so you want to wipe it off on a dry paper towel. And what I do is I'm just going to go back and forth 3 or 4 times to get it mixed in, and then I'm going to go towards the middle, like that, to blend it in. So now that's blended in. So I'm not going really hard like this. I'm just kind of gently glazing over the top of it like that. Okay, then I'm going to take the black, back and forth 3 or 4 times, and then towards the middle, again, not pushing too hard, or I'm going to like shove it all to the middle and like shove it all out of the way, like that. So you can see how this now looks like it's blended instead of overlapped, like that. And then we want to label these, so I use my index finger, so you can just write down finger for that. I'll go ahead and put my name on here also. You want to make sure you have your name and period on there. So that's one, index finger. Second technique is just simply using a paper towel. So dry paper towel, find a nice clean dry spot on here, wrap it around your finger, and you do the same process. So this is technique number 2. So this is the index finger technique, and this is the paper towel technique. So again, back and forth 3 or 4 times to mix it in, and then you go towards the middle. Again, you're not pushing too hard. So you can see how that one compares now to the one that's not blended in. Find a new clean dry spot on the paper towel. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the black. Back and forth 3 or 4 times towards the middle. Again, not pushing way too hard. And then now that one is blended in. So again, it looks mixed and blended and not overlapped anymore. And I've got the tint and the shade. And for this one, paper towel, you could just write towel. Or you could write paper towel. So that's technique number 2. All right, technique number 3, okay, is we're going to use a blending stick. This is compacted, compressed newsprint. This can also be used for shading with graphite pencil. And we have these and sandpaper up on the front desk. Sandpaper is for cleaning this off. Want to kind of try to keep that beveled edge like on a pencil on this. So you want to clean this off. And then what you do is you hold it like a pencil, and you're going to go back and forth 3 or 4 times to mix it, and then you're going to go towards the middle to blend it in like this. Just holding it like a pencil, using that beveled edge on here, like that. Then you can find a new clean spot on the same end or the opposite end, or you can just go ahead and then clean that off on sandpaper. And then you can do the same with the other. And the reason why I'm flipping it around is so I'm just not dragging my hand across it. So I'm going to flip this around, back and forth 3 or 4 times, and then go towards the middle so that also blends in like that. And now they are much more 3-dimensional looking spheres instead of 2-dimensional looking shapes. And then I'm just going to write blending stick or just write stick. So you want to try all 3 techniques. If there's one you prefer, then use that the most on the large paper when we go back to that, working on the assignment. But you want to try all 3 to see which one you probably prefer. You might like all 3. Maybe you have one that doesn't work for you so well. And then that is an example of shading and blending with oil crayon.